On June 30, 2022, at the luxurious Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Tsim Sha Tsui, Hong Kong, a horrific murder occurred, shocking the local public. The victim was a promising young woman, Aqua Chow, 23 years old, famous for her role as a yoga instructor and model. The incident took place right before she was about to embark on a life-changing trip. However, the journey could never begin. The secrets in Aqua's personal relationships and suspicious signs at the scene opened up a complex investigation. Aqua Chow, 23 years old, with an active and energetic life at the luxury apartment Seaside Sonata, is always the center of attention. Famous for her passion for yoga and a healthy lifestyle, she is often admired by her friends and considered a modern role model. But beneath that radiant exterior lies a tumultuous love story with Alex Lowe, 28, a man with unpredictable wounds and insecurities. When Aqua and Alex started their relationship in mid-2021, everything seemed perfect. Alex, a former wushu athlete, had a strong charisma and a confident demeanor. Although his career was interrupted by an injury, Alex still retained the charm that many people were attracted to. Aqua, with her optimistic personality, became Alex's spiritual support during difficult days. Their relationship progressed quickly, and after only a few months, the two decided to move in together in Aqua's apartment. In the early days, their life was full of joy and sharing. The two often cooked together, attended yoga classes, or simply sat together and talked about their dreams and future plans. Aqua believed she had found the perfect companion, someone who could share all the joys and hardships of life. However, as time passed, the deep problems in Alex's personality began to emerge. His unsuccessful martial arts career left a huge void in Alex. Not only did he struggle financially, but he also had insecurities about his status and self-worth. This made him sensitive and vulnerable, especially in his relationship with Aqua, a young, independent, and successful woman. At first, Alex only showed excessive concern. He often called or texted Aqua when she was out, asking what she was doing and who she was with. Aqua, with her easygoing nature, didn't pay much attention at first. But when Alex started to get annoyed whenever she met friends or participated in activities without him, Aqua realized that Alex's concern was gradually turning into control. As the days passed, Alex's jealousy became more obvious. Innocent questions turned into lengthy interrogations, and whenever Aqua tried to explain, Alex showed disbelief. What started as small arguments quickly escalated into big fights. Alex often blamed Aqua for not spending enough time with him, and Aqua felt suffocated when her every decision seemed to require Alex's approval. Living together, from once happy days, now became a series of stressful days. Aqua began to avoid Alex whenever possible, spending time at work or yoga classes to escape the heavy atmosphere at home. Alex, noticing Aqua's distance, became even more insecure. He tried every way to control her, from tracking her schedule to checking her phone whenever she wasn't looking. 6 months of living together, instead of bringing them closer together, made their relationship more fragile than ever. Aqua began to seriously consider ending the relationship, but she also felt regret for having invested so much in Alex. She hoped that with time and support, Alex could change and return to the man she once loved. However, Aqua's efforts were fruitless. Alex seemed to sink deeper and deeper into a spiral of insecurity and jealousy, followed by increasingly extreme controlling behaviors. Aqua Chow, with her radiant appearance and independent spirit, has always been the center of admiration of her friends and the community. But inside, she is facing a damaging relationship with Alex Lowe. The months of living together have eroded her feelings and trust in the man who used to be her support. Things got worse when Alex began to use his control to threaten and dominate her, going beyond the limits of love. Once, during an argument, Alex threatened to release Aqua's private photos to force her to comply with his demands. Terrified by this action, Aqua decided to report the incident to the police. She hoped that legal intervention would help her protect herself and end the days of being controlled by Alex. However, after a while, Alex kept begging for forgiveness, promising to change and never repeat the threatening act. Aqua, with her soft-hearted nature, finally withdrew the application and got back together with him. This was a decision that she did not expect would lead to tragedy later. By the end of June 2022, after much thought, Aqua realized that this relationship could no longer be saved. She decided to completely end it with Alex to prepare for a new beginning. She received an invitation to attend a 3-month yoga course in the US, an opportunity she eagerly accepted. For Aqua, this was not only an opportunity to develop her career but also an escape from the toxic relationship with Alex. But for Alex, this was like a declaration of the end that he could not accept. After hearing the news that Aqua was leaving, Alex seemed to fall into a state of agitation. The instability in his personality became more obvious than ever. He could not accept that Aqua had left him to pursue her own path, and in Alex's twisted mind, that meant betrayal. He began to have dark thoughts, planning an action that he thought would keep Aqua by his side forever. On June 28, 2022, Alex rented a room at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, where he had arranged to meet Aqua for the last time. This action was not simply an impromptu one. When checking the security camera, the police later discovered that Alex was carrying a 27 centimeters long knife, carefully hidden in his bag. This detail showed that his actions were prepared in advance, not a spontaneous action. He chose the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, a luxurious place, as if to cover up the impending brutality with a normal appearance. On June 29, 2022, a sultry and peaceful afternoon like any other, Aqua Chow left her luxury apartment at Seaside Sonata. At 4:34 p.m., the building security camera recorded her walking out with Alex Lowe. Aqua was wearing an elegant dress, her hair loose, and Alex was wearing a shirt, walking beside her with a calm but cold expression. A few minutes earlier, Aqua's father had just left, unaware that the meeting between his daughter and Alex would lead to a terrible tragedy. Alex, whose mind was already disturbed by jealousy and the fear of loss, drove Aqua to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This was not the first time Alex and Aqua had been to this hotel, but this time the atmosphere in the car was completely different. There was no conversation, no smile, only silence. Alex, his mind filled with dark thoughts, seemed to have his plan in place. Aqua, sitting next to him, probably felt the tension in the air but did not realize that danger was approaching. When they arrived at the Ritz-Carlton, Alex led Aqua to the room he had booked in advance. The room was on a high floor, with a beautiful view of the city center. As soon as the door closed, Alex began asking questions, initially in a calm tone but increasingly tense. He asked why Aqua wanted to leave him, why she chose to go to America instead of staying to work on their relationship. Aqua, with her usual calmness, explained that she needed a fresh start and that their relationship had become toxic. She tried to convince Alex that breaking up was the best thing for both of them. But Aqua's words only added fuel to the fire burning inside Alex. He couldn't accept Aqua leaving him and couldn't bear the thought of her starting a new life without him. The argument escalated quickly, with Alex loudly accusing Aqua of betraying him and abandoning him when he needed her the most. Aqua tried to leave the room to end the argument, but Alex rushed to block her way, his eyes blazing with anger. In a fit of uncontrollable rage, Alex pulled out the 27 centimeters knife he had hidden in his pocket. The first stabs were aimed straight at Aqua's body, causing her to collapse instantly. But Alex did not stop. Jealousy and anger had completely taken over him. The stabs continued to hit Aqua's chest, abdomen, and neck. Among them, 2 fatal stabs, a 20 centimeters long cut through her left breast and a deep cut into her throat, took her life in an instant. The normally quiet room was now filled with the sound of the attack and the smell of blood. Aqua, the young, vibrant girl, now lay motionless on the floor, her body covered in blood. Alex, standing numbly over her body, still clutching the knife. Blood from the blade dripped onto the carpet, creating a long red streak. He stared at Aqua, as if he could not believe that he had just done this terrible thing. But the panic only lasted for a moment, quickly giving way to a cold, calculating state. Alex wiped the knife clean with the towel in the room and put it aside. Then, he dragged Aqua's body into the bathroom, gently placing her in the bathtub. He wrapped a large towel around her, covering the bloody wounds, as if trying to create a peaceful appearance for her. But the bloody scene and scratches all over the room could not hide the horrifying crime. Instead of leaving the scene immediately, Alex decided to extend his stay. He called the front desk, asking for an extension for another night, in a calm tone and without showing any signs of anxiety. Then, Alex sat down on the chair by the window, holding a glass of water in his hand but not drinking, his eyes absent-mindedly looking out at the city view. He turned on the TV but did not pay much attention to what was being broadcast. In Alex's mind, he was probably calculating his next move. All night long, Alex stayed in the bloody room, not leaving once. He ordered food to his room, chatted with the hotel staff normally, and showed no signs of abnormality. But no matter how hard he tried to cover it up, he couldn't help but notice that the traces he left behind had become irrefutable evidence. His fingerprints on the knife, on the towel wrapped around Aqua's body, and on the door all became pieces of the puzzle that helped the police uncover the whole truth about this barbaric crime. When dawn broke, Alex was still sitting quietly in that room, as if waiting for something to happen. He didn't leave, nor did he try to erase the traces. Perhaps in his disturbed mind, Alex knew that everything was about to end, and there was no way for him to escape the ending he had created. On the morning of June 30th, 2022, Aqua Chow's family began to worry when she had not contacted them for the past day. According to the plan, Aqua was supposed to be at the airport to fly to the US the night before, but when they contacted the airline, they were informed that she had not checked in for the flight. Things got worse when a close friend of Aqua's went to check on her apartment and found her luggage still intact, with no sign of her having prepared for the trip. This abnormality prompted Aqua's family to immediately call the police to report her missing. The Hong Kong police force began investigating that morning. When they accessed the security camera of the Seaside Sonata apartment complex, they discovered images of Aqua leaving the house at 4:34 p.m. on June 29th with Alex Lowe. This was the last time Aqua was seen alive. Investigators quickly focused on Alex, her ex-boyfriend, and noticed that he did not return to his apartment after that time. This raised suspicions that Alex was involved in Aqua's disappearance. While the police were expanding their investigation, in the early afternoon of June 30th, Alex Lowe suddenly appeared at the Wong Tai Sin police station with a lawyer. His face looked tense but showed no signs of confusion or remorse. To the surprise of the investigators, Alex frankly confessed that he had attacked Aqua Chow the previous afternoon in a room at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. He gave specific directions to the location of the body and provided information about what had happened, although he did not go into detail. An investigation team was immediately dispatched to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel to check the information. When they entered the room that Alex had rented, the police were shocked by the scene. Aqua's body was lying in a large bathtub, soaked in water that had turned crimson with blood from the wounds on her body. She was wrapped in a large towel, as if Alex had intentionally created a temporary cover-up. Beside the body, a 27 centimeters long knife was found submerged at the bottom of the tub, the blade still showing visible blood stains. The knife was quickly identified as the murder weapon that Alex used to kill Aqua. Investigators analyzed the scene and found that there were no signs of a violent struggle. The objects in the room were still in their original positions, not disturbed or broken. This detail is consistent with Alex's testimony that he attacked Aqua by surprise when she did not have time to fight back. Bloodstains on the carpet, walls, and wooden floor leading to the bathroom showed that Aqua was dragged into the tub after being attacked. This confirmed that Alex had planned his actions coldly and deliberately. In addition to the obvious traces in the room, the police also found Aqua's personal items, including a handbag and phone, left on the table near the door. This showed that Aqua had no intention of staying at the hotel for long, but perhaps just wanted to settle her relationship with Alex once and for all before leaving Hong Kong. However, she could not have imagined that this encounter would lead to her tragic death. While the forensic officers continued to collect evidence from the scene, Alex was questioned at the police station. He told the story in a calm tone, but that calmness only made the investigators feel more horrified. Alex described that he could not bear the thought of Aqua wanting to leave him and start a new life. Jealousy and anger made him completely lose control, leading to the brutal act. However, the fact that he brought a long knife to the hotel and carried out the act with careful preparation clearly showed that this was not a spontaneous act. Alex's testimony, along with the undeniable evidence at the scene, painted a clear picture of the crime he committed. After killing Aqua, Alex did not leave the hotel immediately but stayed in the room overnight, extending his stay and even ordering food to his room, trying to maintain an appearance of normalcy. It was only the next morning, when he felt the pressure from the police investigation, that he decided to come forward. Aqua Chow's death quickly spread, shocking Hong Kong public opinion and the international community. A promising young woman with a bright future ahead of her was taken away because of her ex-lover's selfishness and jealousy. The horrific scene at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel became living evidence of the crime, making anyone who heard about the case shudder. As Aqua's body was taken out of the hotel in a black bag, staff and guests at the Ritz-Carlton watched in haunting silence. The room was sealed off, becoming the main investigation scene in this brutal murder. Police continue to track down every little detail to ensure that every hidden corner of the case will be brought to light. But even if justice is served, the pain and loss that Aqua's family has suffered will never be able to ease. In December 2022, the Alex Lowe murder case of Aqua Chow was officially brought to trial in the Hong Kong District Court. The trial received special attention from the public because of the brutal nature of the case and the pain it left on the victim's family. The courtroom was packed with people, including Aqua's family, friends, and those interested in the case. The media was also present in large numbers to cover one of the most sensational cases of the year. At the beginning of the trial, the prosecutor presented clear evidence that Alex Lowe had planned the murder in advance. They pointed out that Alex had booked a room at the Ritz-Carlton the day before the crime and had brought with him a 27-centimeter knife, which was identified as the murder weapon used to kill Aqua. This was an undeniable sign that Alex's actions were not a sudden outburst of anger, but a carefully prepared plan. The prosecutor also brought up Alex's confession after he appeared at the Wong Tai Sin police station. He admitted to attacking Aqua and provided details that matched the crime scene perfectly. In addition, the forensic report confirmed that Aqua had been stabbed more than 30 times, including 2 fatal stabs, one to the left chest that pierced her heart and one to her throat that killed her instantly. The injuries were determined to be the result of intentional violence, completely ruling out the possibility that this was an act of insanity. Alex's defense attorney attempted to argue that their client acted in a state of emotional agitation, without any premeditated intention to kill Aqua. They cited the tensions in their relationship and the feeling of betrayal when Aqua decided to leave him. However, the jury rejected this argument. The court emphasized that the evidence showed that Alex had prepared in advance, from bringing the knife to renting the room, proving his clear intention. On December 15, 2022, the court found Alex Lowe guilty of premeditated murder and sentenced him to life in prison. The verdict was met with sympathy from Aqua's family and the public. Although justice had been served, the pain of loss that Aqua's family had to endure will never be forgotten. The case was closed, leaving behind a profound reminder of the tragic consequences of jealousy and control in love.